hard truth, okay? Hard skills will get you an interview, soft skills will get you the job. Okay, with your resume, a lot of hard skills, good. And then they're gonna contact you with the phone, that's good. When you go to campus for an in-person interview, you may fail because you don't have soft skills. They will understand it, okay? You may get the job, but if you don't have soft skills, you're not gonna be able to keep the job most of the time. Okay? Because if you're not a good team player, if you're not communicating well, it's not it doesn't matter you know the best the content. It matters how you are as a system, as a person, as a contributor to the system, to overall system, right? And you are hired for hard skills and you will be fired for soft skills as well. Okay? That's a good one to remember. And we can't really change those much, but hard skills are developed at the expense of soft skills. I don't know if you heard this one, but this is the one that I really want to spend 1 minute on it. And that's exactly what I said in the beginning. Hey, we don't have quizzes. Well, we should have quizzes, right? I mean, think about it. For project management, I have quiz. This one, no. And that's exactly what it's saying. Hard skills are developed at the expense of soft skills, which is when you have 1 hour, when you have two subjects, one hard skills, one soft skills to study, we prefer hard skills because sometimes we think that we already have soft skills or we don't need soft skills or we have enough soft skills. We always opt for the hard skills. And over months and over years after you graduate, you never work on your soft skills. And then all of a sudden, when you do presentation, you actually can't do it well, right? And then you realize what's wrong with that. Well, because you always work on the hard skills. Make it fun. Make soft skills learning fun, okay? And I'm so glad that we have a motivated audience here for soft skills. Yeah, let me just say this one. Stuck in somewhere with hard skills. If you don't really improve your soft skills, okay? If you don't sharpen your saw, what happens is you can still survive in the same job doing like 5 years, 10 years, 15 years doing the same job, but only in big companies. Like companies who can afford to pay you doing the same job for decades, like Google, Amazon, big companies, right? They don't mind you paying you as long as you do the job. They don't mind. If you don't have a career advancement objective, if you don't want to promote, if you really like what you're doing and if you really do it over the years and along like during your lifetime, you can find, but it's gonna be limited company numbers. And you will only know what you know. You're not gonna grow much. But sometimes I recommend my students, especially when they're newly graduate, I tell them to go to a small companies, really small, like 10 people or something, right? So you learn every aspect of the business from the supply chain, right? Getting the raw materials all the way to product design and development and deployment and operations and maintenance. You see, because you are doing the work, right? Well, sure, your customer number will be small. Your revenue will be small. Of course, you're gonna work hard. But what's gonna happen is while the other person only knows what they know, you're gonna be able to knowing like every aspect and angle of the business. And this is gonna be so helpful for your next not promotion, but the next job. Okay, because you know most of the stuff from accounting, finance, from marketing, advertisements, dynamics, manufacturing, leadership. So sometimes I say, yeah, go for those little jobs, especially when you are young and not a lot of risk. No kids, small family. That definitely do that. Be courageous to do that if you want to advance your career. Okay, Chet has a lot to say. Let's see. I think being able to market yourself right would be most of startup a very good place to start. Yeah, that's exactly right. Startups are the right place to start. Just be careful, what kind of a startup is. You don't want to be in a startup that's gonna only last a couple of months or years, right? You want to do a little bit career there and then move on. Yeah, the other thing is really we talked about that. But practice is key. You have to do it intentionally. intentionally. So if your professor gave you a presentation, you should really think about it. How can I do this better? And one of my classes actually requires undergrad students to make presentations. Okay. I usually give very good grades, but some students, I mean, some teams, as they act as a team, they get 100, and the difference is they design their presentation not to get 100, but to do a good presentation, and 100 comes automatically because after this presentation, I ask the listeners. And actually, my graduate students make an assessment for my undergrad students, and I get 100s there too. Because when you do something good, everyone knows it's good. Okay. And some students don't do it because they just think that they are so busy. This presentation is just one check item from the list, and they just want to do it and get it done, right? Without much design, much thinking, much research. And it shows itself too. Okay, so practice your soft skills intentionally. Intentionally. So because in the communication is key, right? Okay. Any questions? Any contributions so far? It's huge from stress management, conflict management, seeing. That's an interesting one, right? Seeing. Professor, we all see. Well, we don't. We don't see it. Like I said a couple of days ago, my car was broken, right? I told you on Tuesday. When the hood was opened by the mechanic, I don't see anything. He sees everything. That's seeing, right? That's a kind of hard skill and soft skill. So these yellow ones are the ones that we're gonna look into and go deep in this summer session. Okay, learning to learn, time management, listening, communications, teamwork, and all these things. Yes, Adam. I said this is a language. So when everybody started to start talking about their languages, we're gonna tell them no. In here we speak project management. Please, everybody, talk about project management, and we use these tools. Please create these tools. Don't create me a bunch of Excel and bunch of slides. Meaning and not meaning anything. When it changed the ecosystem, when it comes from the quality management department to Adam's department, that doesn't make sense if you don't speak the same language, right? It's in your ecosystem. Adam's ecosystems is different. So we need that language that everyone can understand, right? So that meeting is problematic from not the people's perspective, from a chairing perspective, to be honest, okay? Not to blame anybody, but if a discussion is lasting like 40 minutes, there's a management problem in that meeting. All right. So the soft skills are good for any role you have in your life. You are engineers or not, you are student or not, you are mom, dad, whatever. You are taxpayer, right? You have friends, you have neighbors, you are mom, dad, project manager. It doesn't matter. These soft skills are good for everybody and every occasion, okay? So I want you to open up your own school. So that's why I'll show you some videos every now and then. I'll recommend you books and stuff. But I want you to open your own school because you know your strength the best. You know your weaknesses the best. You know your ambitions the best. You know your dreams the best. Okay? So don't wait for any books or any professors to come grab you and teach you. Don't expect, write this down, don't expect HR, or don't think that HR has a career progression plan for you. They don't. They don't care. They don't know. They don't know. They don't care. HR will not have any career promotion or advancement plan for you. Who has this plan? You should have that plan. Okay, that plan can include switching domains in terms of expertise, becoming not a programmer, but maybe a project manager, changing jobs, changing locations, changing departments, whatever you want to do. First, you come up with that dream, and then you go to HR maybe or get the certifications and whatever is needed, then you can tell them, and they may facilitate what you need. They may pay you for your education. They may pay you to go to a conference, whatever is the case. But don't expect a call from them saying that, hey, Sayan, it's time for you to go to project management class. It's on January 3rd with Professor Ali at this time, this Zoom link. Go ahead. We already paid for you. Good luck. And we don't expect any job for 2 weeks from you. Get that learn. It's not going to happen.
That's
It
huge.
is not. That's huge. You can study these things for a couple of days, what he says. Anyone knows him? He is Jim Rohn. We lost him around 2000, I think it was 2008 or 9. He's a like personal development philosopher. I really recommend you to go on YouTube and, well, if you can buy the books, that's great. But if you can go to YouTube and say Jim Rohn, there's like maybe 20 full lectures that he gave. And I mean, I want you to listen. I usually do 2+ on YouTube, like 2 times the speed. For him, do zero point 0.5 speed because it's really hard to digest what he says, although it looks simple. So this class is on Thursdays. I really want you to work on yourself, not on your job. Like Sayan said, in ASU Gamage, I did this and that. I really worked hard, but you worked hard for them, not for you, right? But if you deliberately inject some of the skills that you want to improve and try to use them in there, that's going to help your soft skills as well. And I'm picking on Cyan because that's the discussion. It's not, yeah. So this is the funny thing. Knowing something is very different than applying it. I'm sure all of you know how to do better presentations. Then why most of my students are not doing their best? There are reasons, right? Knowing and applying is different. I know what flying is, but I can't fly. You see what I mean? So in soft skills, it's not multiple choice exams. It's knowing is not enough, and you have to apply the knowledge deliberately in every aspects of your life, family. Like I said, if you go to a movie with friends, okay, tell them, okay, today, what I want to do is I want to suggest a movie, and I will make the team or the group go to that movie. What does that require from me? Try it. If you don't try it and you just say, I'm going to recommend one, let's see if they go. Well, good luck. They will not go. What does it requires? Why does your friend can always bring the group to whatever show she or he wants? You have to study and you have to deliberately target, I want to bring the team to what I want. Okay? That's soft skills. And it's learning to learn, but you have to explore yourself first before exploring anyone else, like Jim Rohn said. Okay, so you have the content before I stop recording, and